Scheduled one. Don't I want to talk about a subject that a lot of times is not brought up in the prepper community, or if it is, there's only a couple that say, "Oh yeah." So here in prepper community, we're talking about storing food and water, having the ability to filter and purify water, have the ability to grow a garden, have the ability to protect what you have. What foods you should store, how you should store them. Talk about canning and gardening, and we start talking about medications we should have. But how often do we talk about, hello, Miss Worm, about being fit? If things truly do get tough, however it is, whether it's just a power outage for 4 or 5 days, or a major storm, or the entire grid goes down, and you're required to use your motor skills to get things done. Hey, Wizard, how's it going? Thanks for joining back in. And you're not in shape, well, this is the wrong time to get in shape. The time to think about needing something is not when you need it, it's before then. So, I always try to keep myself in good physical shape. I know if I have to, I can, walk down to the pond, skip up a couple buckets of water. I can walk down further to the stream if I have to. I can plant a garden, I can harvest a garden, I can move heavy objects around, I can do repairs, which is all good. But, when we're thinking about it, what is one of the number one preps is yourself, and that is going to be your physical and mental health. So bringing that up, not just being fit, but, if you have a toothache, or, cavity needs to be done, or, a crown that needs to be done, now's the time to do it. Because, you get an abscess tooth, or you get an infection up there, and things hit the fan, you're in trouble. I don't know if anybody's had severe problems with their teeth, but hey, little Miss Pepper, everybody can make sure to hit the thumbs up. Thanks for joining in. So this one here is talking about fitness as being a prep, that I don't think we covered enough in the community. I hear Jason at the Angry Prepper mentions it every now and then. The Canadian Prepper has mentioned it once or twice. If you're talking about having to bug out, well, how far can you walk? How far can you walk with a pack on you? So first of all, I'd go for some hikes without the pack and see how far you can walk. I know I'm good for about 4.5 miles before I need some sort of nutrition, because I've done that. Put the hiking boots on and went on a 4.5 mile trip, and about 4 miles into it, I could tell that I was going to need water. I was going to tell I probably should have brought some sort of snack with me, protein bar or energy bar or something. And I did that as a prelude, because I live pretty close to home now. I work pretty close to home now. I'm only 12 miles away, and if I had to, I could make that walk. But I'm going to need water. Probably not going to make that walk without water. So do I have water in the car? Yes, I do. I have them in stainless steel bottles. Hey, preparedness veterans, how we doing? All's well. So I just thought I'd sit there and get in a chat about fitness being a prep. I think we bypass that. People are talking about, well, I'll get my bug out bag and I'll go. And well, if you can't walk more than a mile, it's going to take you a long time to get somewhere. And we really don't know. We can always think back, well, 20 years ago, I could walk, 15 miles. Go out and walk now. You'll be unpleasantly surprised if you haven't done it for a while. Now, if you have done it and you are in shape and you are an avid hiker and that, you're ahead of the game. besides the exercise has all the benefits that I've been talking about with the vitamins. The vitamins, exercise also boosts your immune system. 2 gallons of water and 1 gallon of electrolytes. Christopher, that's awesome. So, even electrolytes, there's another one, because, if you're just drinking water and it's hot and that, you'll drive all the salts out of your body. And then, training my legs so hard I can hardly walk. I did that before. Mental fitness, too. Medication is very useful to keep stress at bay. Vitamins are very useful to keep stress at bay. I buy, vitamins 3 deep. And then when we do use one up, I go out and buy another one. But I try to keep 3 bottles of each vitamin in storage, just to make do. So those are the things that you have to be thinking about. Do I prep food? Absolutely. Got canned food. I got beans and rice and honey and maple syrup and tuna and chicken and hash and vegetables and you name it. Actually, chocolate does keep stress at bay. Dark chocolate is beneficial for you. Doesn't mean a lot of dark chocolate is beneficial for you, but a little bit of it is. Actually make you feel better. So when I'm on all these channels and that, and they talk about this gadget and this way to prepare food, which all are interesting things, we don't really see anybody talking about getting in shape. And getting in shape doesn't mean that you have to necessarily go to a gym, although that's a good way to do that. But you can get in shape at home. It's just if you go to a gym and you meet with like-minded individuals, you are more likely to work out. I'm just right outside the gym right now. As soon as I walk in, I will start working out. I know that. I do have a gym at home, and for a while I was doing really well with that. But the problem with the gym at home is there's the refrigerator at home too. And then there's the wife at home, and then there's distractions. In the gym, there are no distractions. Hey, Randy, I got sunshine today. It's cooler, but not bad. I think it's in the low 50s. And it's going to be in the 40s and 50s probably for about the next 5 days. So, nothing we can do about that. Spring will get here eventually, sometime in June. Yeah, it's windy too. They were talking about fitness being a prep, walking around your block, walking around your neighborhood, in your extended neighborhood. And if you're in a really rural area, around the area, it serves 2 things. It will get you in better physical shape, help your endurance, and you'll learn a lot. When you're walking through, pay attention. What does the neighbor have in their backyard? And I don't mean stalking, but what's down that alley? Is there a house that looks unkept? There's another house that has got a lot of broken down vehicles that are, parked there, plus 3 or 4 vehicles are constantly stopping there and going in and out. I was out by my brother-in-law's, and we identified an area which we're pretty sure is just a drug house out in the middle of nowhere. So you want to know about that. We drove down some of these back roads and really got to see where some resources are, also see where all the deer were. And but it's something you need to know, because until I started doing those recon walks, there's a lot of things about my surrounding area that I was oblivious to. And that's really no way to be. So, now I'm not. You can do a lot of recon in the vehicle, but, to really get the full effect, you have to walk. And then you get the benefit of getting the exercise. At home, if you have stairs, go up and down the stairs. You got weights, do a set of weights. Right. Yeah. Heavy drives, I do the Visual Recon. Hey, James, how we doing? So, the things are to do with fitness is fitness starts in small steps. The problem I see in the gym, especially around the New Year's, is people come in, they will hire a trainer, they will buy all the fad clothes. The trainer will run them through hell and back and try to sell them every supplement under the sun. And within about 3 or 4 weeks, you don't see that person anymore. I would say maybe 1 out of 10 stay. And then probably only about 1 out of that 10 stay the year. Because if they sit there and get you so sore and so much pain, why the hell would you come back? So the whole idea is I always tell them to take it slow, make slow changes over time, and then that will sit there and give you large results over a long period of time. If you're not, if you're overweight, cut 200 calories out of your diet. Move some of your foods to earlier in the day. I'm not saying give up ice cream. I'm just saying don't have ice cream and go to bed. Have ice cream at 10 in the morning. It'll ramp up your metabolism and it'll burn calories. But you have that ice cream or cake and then you go to bed, it just does nothing for you. You get up in the morning and, that coffee will get your metabolism going, but it's not throwing any nutrition your way. So, maybe a glass of milk, and then have the coffee later. Get some protein in the system. Go for a walk, bicycle, lift 2 kilogram weights, anything to keep active. I have 2 curl bars set up at weights down in the basement, and every time I go down in the basement, I do a set on each one. I try to position them around the house so it kind of forces me to look at it and do something with it. Oh, happy birthday in advance, Miss Worm. I don't know how far in advance, but happy birthday. Started your magnesium last night. There you go, Randy. I think I've been sleeping pretty good now that I've kind of got a regular schedule going. I'm getting up around 4:45, and by 9 o'clock, I'm ready to go to sleep. By 9:30, I'm asleep. Maybe not tonight because Gray Man's on. But definitely, the nutrition and sleep and all that's important, but getting your physical fitness going. I'd encourage everybody to go out and if you haven't hiked in a while, just go for a mile. Half mile away, half mile back. And start doing that 3 days a week. Anything that, I got to be at work at 7. Now, when I do go to afternoon shifts, then 7 o'clock will be my wake up time. But they're going to keep me on day shifts one more time, which is nice, because then I think, does that include the misspellings? Don't worry about misspellings. It's hard enough to type on a phone as it is. But I'm going to be on days again next week, so I think I'm going to be on with Van City Prepper next week. I'll send her an email out today and try to get a hold of her. Again, I thought I was going to be on afternoons. I had to be there by 0500. It was an hour away, so glad that's over. Oh. So I used to work up by Chicago, and I used to leave the house at 4:30 in the morning, pick up one of my coworkers in another town, and we'd be at the location by 6 o'clock, and we'd lock the doors, and then we'd take a nap till about 8. Because if I left at 5, I was not getting to that location until 8:30, 9 o'clock. Because of traffic. So, sometimes it pays to leave earlier. But I'll be talking about prepping and trying to throw fitness into the part of the prep with Van City. I'll probably put together some notes and that and cover the vitamins and stuff like that. There is a 4:30 in the morning. I'm up around that time often anyway. Not that I stay asleep, but I'm usually up there for other reasons. So if you haven't already, please hit the thumbs up. Today, just kind of a chat about fitness as preparedness. So if you are in the preparedness community, this is part of the fitness you want to do also. Oh, there you go. That is good. They had their own gym in there. Actually, I was trying to do that in the one Sears that I ran. I had a spare room, and I was going to move some exercise equipment in there, but there was a little problem with the insurance, so we couldn't do that. But I know, like fire departments usually have their own weights in their fire department to keep them in shape. So, physical fitness is definitely important for preparedness. And a lot of the things that you can do to get fit will also help you in other ways. Like I said, the recon walks make me more aware of what's going on. And then when I was watching one of my own videos, I was noticing that I was always, as we call it, checking our sex. I wasn't even aware I was doing it. It just kind of been beat into me for such a long time. So if anybody's got any questions about what they can do to make themselves more fit, go ahead and pop them in the chat. Well, I'm saying walking is a wonderful thing. If you're trying to lose weight, walking is one of the best ways to lose weight. There was a medium-sized manufacturing company did cold metal forming and machining. Cold metal forming machine, very cool. So what I would do first, James, is I would hike without your backpack first on the shorter distances, just to see just what shape you are. Because I was going to do that when I did that 4.3 mile shot around the north side of my area, and that would have been probably too much. So just that one really took a lot out of me. But I know I'm good for about 4.5 miles. And generally, I don't want to be out on the road. I don't want to be spending the whole day hiking. I don't want to do a 20-mile hike because I'll be going all day. So what I'll probably do is put a small backpack on next time, throw some water in there, throw some snacks, and then probably, every other week I'll add weight to it. Because I know the pack that I had in my car when I worked an hour away probably easily weighed, with everything I had on it, 60, 70 pounds. It was way too heavy. And good thing I didn't have to use it, because I would have been fooling myself. I was telling the wife it'd take me about 5 days to get home. It would have been 2 months. But I was like 60 miles away. So definitely that's important. If you are going to sit there and plan on bugging out in that type of scenario, you got to practice it now. But same thing, start slow and easy with it. Don't overdo it, because you throw your back out, or you really, pull a muscle or whatever, then, now it's 2 or 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks before you can start at it again, if you start at it again. So you want to make sure that you start out with it. And I'm glad I listened to my own advice, because I was gonna drop the sleeping bag and tarp out of it, and I was gonna hike with it. And then I said, I better just hike it first. And I'm like, wow, yeah. Oh, vintage backpack from my father from the 40s. Very cool. I used to have my rucksack from when I was in the service, and then I put it up in storage up in the pole barn, and next time I looked for it, the mice had gotten to it. But I do have some of those. I just don't have the metal frame around it. Somebody was throwing a bunch of them away behind the store I worked at, so I grabbed a bunch of them. And they're probably what I'll use for just taking the light stuff with me. And once I don't have to fight the 40-mile-an-hour wind to walk, then I'll probably go for about a 6-miler, which I'll have the small pack on me because I'm going to need some water and some nutrition to keep it going. Because it's funny, when I started off, I'm just like, oh, boy, I'm all excited. And then when I was coming back towards the house, it's like, oh my God, what did I do to myself? Yeah, I lost the rigid frame, mice. But I did a lot of hiking with that, and I missed the hills. I don't have any hills by me. I have to go Utica for hills. So, Illinois, unless you're in down in southern Illinois by the Garden of the Gods, or northwestern by Galena, excuse me, or if you're in Utica area, there's not too much terrain here. A lot of cornfield and a lot of soybean fields. Now, when I was in Korea, there's plenty of hills. You were either walking up a hill or you were walking down a hill. When I was in Fort Campbell, we did a lot of, even though I was in an air assault unit, they had us walking a lot for some reason. Yeah, it's Illinois. Yeah, there's in Pontiac, Illinois also, and in Utica. The Utica is where the wife and I probably go about every other week. There's a nice, winery and gift shop there that we know all the people there and have a good time. And then there's the trading post, which usually on our way out we stop there. No, there's no COVID regulations. Maybe up in Chicago, but out here it doesn't exist, and we gave up that stuff really quick. My dehydrated eggs were horrible. Next time I use a blender, not a hand beater. I was wondering about that. I know they used to make them in the Army out of that stuff, and it was not good. Speaking of dehydrated eggs, any tips on dehydrated eggs? Nope, I've never dehydrated the eggs. I know if you you cover them in food grade mineral oil, or it's called water glass, you can keep them like down in the basement. You can keep them for a really long time. I've heard people that have kept them for a year. But I've got neighbors that have chickens, and about 2 other neighbors that have them. So it was really never a concern for me to have dehydrated ones. I do have powdered milk. I bought a bunch of that. And who knows? I might end up throwing it away. I don't know how much longer past the best buy date you can use them, but I kept that just in case of emergencies. Powdered eggs are pretty good. So I used to take a product. Yeah, this is back in the early 90s. And it came in a huge jug, and it was egg ebullition protein. And it came in these big yellow pills. And, hey, Jason, glad you can make it. And I would take a handful before my workout. I would take a handful of them after my workout. I'd take a handful before I went to bed. And I ain't gonna lie, I got ripped. I got really ripped. Probably was only around 6-7% body fat because of my metabolism. And I haven't seen them on the market since. I think that was like the best stuff. Powdered milk is good in mashed potatoes. Oh, there we go. But if I did it misworm, I'd have to do it where the wife wouldn't see me do it. Because anytime that she sees me try something new, on a new product or a new ingredient, she's already dead set against it. So generally when I do it, I try not to let her see it, and then everything's fine. Put 6 eggs per tray. We'll do less next time. Well, let me know how that works out, Randy. So get down that, get how many per tray is the best way of doing it. So I'd appreciate anybody jumping in on this real quick. This was really impromptu. I was really not planning on doing a live. I hadn't researched anything last night. So, but I figured, I might as well reach out and say hi to everybody. Good way of adding a few extra vitamins to the homemade bread. There you go. And I am going to make bread this weekend. And we're going over for a friend's house for Easter. And I'm going to make 2 loaves of bread for him. Hey, Beaverine. All right. How we doing? So we're talking about fitness is a prep. You're right. Sounds like an excellent live streaming making bread. I could do that. I don't know about live streaming though. There's that 45 minutes to 90 minutes to get it to rise. So maybe 3 live streams. Maybe one where I'm making it. And the one thing I don't have is I do not have that big mixer. I've got to pretty much mix it with a beater and then the rest of it by hand. So maybe I'll do it with raw materials and getting it all rolled up in a dough, and then the next one where it's coming out of the oven. Dried eggs out of the bottom of your dehydrator. Sandblaster might do it. I don't know if your dehydrator will work afterwards though. Wow. You could tap dance in the intermission. Yeah, except I can't tap dance. Just reading everything in here. There we go. So how many of y'all are going to be on Gray Man's Late Night with Gray at 9:30 tonight? Am I looking today? Yeah, I'm looking at the gym right now, Jason, getting ready to roll in there. I think I'm going to play around with arms and shoulders today. So I'm going to lift, and then the wife's going to come out here and meet me, and then we're going to go over to our favorite place, Lamex, and get something to eat. Yeah, it could be if I had a regular internet, James, but I would eat up through my 40 gigs of prime mobile hotspot rather quickly that way. To make a workout at 4:10 a.m. Well, good job, Beaverine. I tell you, I was never good at working out that early. I can get up that early to cook. So I was up about 4:45. I was making eggs and had a big glass of milk and some vitamins, and did some uploading on the computer. And I was out the door by about 20 after 6. OPSEC. They could snack him. Hotel people. Yeah. Yeah, Miss Warren Gray. Yeah, it would probably be too late. Well, yeah, some of us are like that. Like, I got news I'm dying to tell, but I gotta wait. I gotta wait on it. So I'm gonna get over there and get ready to do some Lives out of town, yeah. I used to get those people that would say, things hit the fan, I'm coming out to your place. And I tell them, unless you're bringing food and other skills, you don't want to come out to my place. I will, when I can, I will post a picture on my community page, and that'll be your clue. But I don't think I can share the picture right now because I'm on the phone. I got skills. There you go. I've got about 2 people that are invited to come out to my place, my godson and his wife, because he has prepped food, and I've also taught him how to shoot ever since he was about 6. And then I have a families that I've taught them and their kids all how to shoot, and they have a lot of skills. And that's, I got another one's got more toys than I have. But the wife gets nervous about that. And I said, well, if it truly did hit the fan, if it was that bad thing that we were talking about, I said, the wife and I said, we can't hold down the fort. We can't stay awake enough. So I would need at least, 3 more, 4 more. 10 more would probably be perfect. So, let me see, it's been here a half hour. About the boom tools. Yeah, see, my wife's not. I taught her, as soon as we started dating, I took her out shooting. She was a natural. I taught my kids how to shoot. About the time they're 6 years old, I had them out there with the little 22 Cub rifle shooting, and about the time they were 9, they were shooting my pistols. And then my oldest daughter got her first pheasant with a 410 shotgun when she was 11. And my youngest daughter, at about 11 years old, was shooting everything except for my 44 mag. And then time she was 14, she was shooting that. So, and the kids knew, that they wanted to shoot. All they had to do was ask me, and we'd go out and shoot. So it was never something that they were tempted to do, because all they had to call me. My daughter called me one time. Hey, when you come home, Dad, can we shoot the 9? I said, absolutely. And I'll pick up some more ammo, and I did, and we shot for about a good hour. So it was never that forbidden thing. And I constantly taught safety. The gun's always loaded. Never point the gun at a person. Keep the gun pointed down range in a safe direction. The gun is always loaded. Even if I tell you I've unloaded it, treat it as it's always loaded. And we never had any issues. And I think at one time we had as many as 50 people over, and we shot for about 6 hours. Archery is cool. My boy got pretty good with a bow. He was mad because Mama's better with a rifle than he is. But he never put the time in. I used to shoot for hours. Back when you could buy, 500 rounds for $5. I haven't got used to hearing gun talk yet. It's still very odd to me. And it's just where you're upbringing. I mean, I was raised, on a farm. My dad was in World War II and the Korean War. All his brothers were in the wars. My mom's brothers were in the service. We always shot. We always hunted. I was in Boy Scouts. I used to save money all winter so I could go to the rifle range when I was at Scouts and shoot at the NRA range there, where I was expert all the time. When you're talking about the BB guns, I remember I actually hit a bird with a BB gun I didn't even see, I just heard it. Hey, Little Red Hen, thanks for stopping in. Yeah, competency with multiple tools. I enjoyed them. My friends enjoyed them. I mean, we would sit there and we'd buy 5 boxes of shells and we'd shoot clay birds, and then we'd that night we'd reload all the shells, and the next day we'd be out shooting again and then reload. And yeah, it used to be cheap, not anymore. So the amount of freedom seeds that we go through has dropped greatly because the prices have raised greatly, and the availability for a long time was very, very difficult. But yeah, it's part of our country culture here. You go into the big cities, Miss Worm, they're the same thing. They're like, oh, and you're like, well, if you took the time to learn how to use a tool, then you wouldn't be as afraid of it. And 90% of what the media tells you about guns is BS. The gun never went on its own and did stuff. It's always the person. Oh, we got 2 people from Great Britain. Oh, welcome. Awesome. But speaking of the freedom sticks and all that, once again, if your health is poor in that, it's not going to do you much good. People will say, well, I'll just go out and live off the land. You won't live long, because it's different when, if I decide I'm just going to go live off the land and I'm the only person out there, using those resources. And now if it's 30 people per square mile using all those resources will be gone rather quickly. And I think that's what people forget is, only about, I would say 1% of the people hunt. And when that becomes 50% of the people hunting, you don't have any more game. You'll be down to mice. Living off the land, planting a garden, yes. Having a pond and only taking so many fish from it at a time, yep. But every fall I have a fish fry. I take about 30 bluegills out of there. They breed rather quickly, and then I don't want them to sit there and, oxygen starve during the winter when it's iced over. We just had to give people very stern looks. Stern looks usually do it. In my experience, I have never had to pull out and use that tool to defend myself. But twice, in 2 different occasions, them knowing I had the tool prevented an altercation. Hey, Van City. So great news, Van City. I'm still on days next week, so I get off at 3 o'clock Central Time. So I think next week would work really well to do a live stream together. I may just do it up out here in town, so I might do it out of my car just because I know I'll have a much better signal. And I know a StreamYard, if I don't have a good signal, things get kind of slow. So what I might do is just might drive out here to Pontiac and with my computer and then just do it from there. So we'll just figure out what time. But I get off at 3, usually by 3:30 Central Time I would be available. And like I said, I can just do it out of my car. So let me know what day works for you. And I'll just, we can just follow up on the emails on that. So Van City, we're talking about fitness as a prep. Because a lot of people, I think, they don't realize that. They talk about bugging out, but they can't walk a mile with a backpack, or they're going to walk a mile with a backpack and have a stroke and die. I actually did a video in the winter about shoveling snow, especially when you're older. I said, and treat it like you're working out. Instead of being a stubborn old man like I am. I went out there and I shoveled. Did 10 to 12 shovels of snow and then took a break. Then another 10 to 12 shovels of snow and took a break, just like I was lifting. And I was able to get through it a lot easier. A friend of mine that I served together in the service, uh, and he lives there in West Virginia, and it gets a lot of snow. He had fallen on the ice when he was taking the trash out and hurt his back. And then the next day, they got a heavy snow, and he didn't want to look weak in front of his wife, so he went out and shoveled it. Well, he tore his back up so bad that she had to call the ambulance to come get him out of the driveway because he couldn't move. And, that was like, God, 10, 12 years ago, and his back's still messed up. So, the constant wind, spring. It's always windy in the spring. Get those temperature changes. When you're 70 one day and 40 the next day, the air masses, they be a-moving. But, yes, we all blame Randy. So, if it's wind or rain, Randy's sending it. That's all I got to say. Just kidding. But, if instead of just, spending maybe $20 to have somebody plow the driveway, he went out there and he pretty much messed his back up for the rest of his life. So sometimes you gotta be kite flying weather. Yeah, that kite will be gone. You'd be flying with the kite. Maybe it'd be like the flying nun. So yeah, if you're gonna be, preparing for the worst, then you gotta prepare your fitness. You got to get in shape. You got to find out where your limits are, do it safely, do it, a little at a time. And then you'll get to the point where, I can do a, 5-mile hike with a pack on. 5 miles, who remembers it? Us old people. We used to watch that show in black and white. Sally Fields. I didn't have control of the TV. My mom did, so that'll be my that's my defense. So I'm thinking everybody hopping in, starting to see some people I haven't seen for a while. Beaverine, Van City, thanks for jumping in. James and Randy, of course, Miss Worm. I thought Little Red Hen, thank you for dropping in from the Great Britain. I appreciate that. I thought Body Beatdown would fly in here. And then Sally Fields, yep. She was in the Flying Nun. Yeah, we even watched an old movie the other night, Lilies of the Valley. Yeah, I remember seeing when I was a youngin'. They had all of my hair and none of my sons. It was a nice movie. All right, well, I went on for about 44 minutes on an unplanned one here, so I probably should be signing off. I do appreciate everybody dropping in and having a chat with me in that. If you have any questions about what you can do in your situation for fitness, shoot me an email at scottishfitness@gmail.com. Tell me what you're trying to accomplish. I'll be more than happy to help you out on that. All right, the best way to support the channel is to watch, like, and share and let those little ads run. Of course, I do have memberships available too. Memberships get discounts on shirts. And actually, on a few of my members, and once they get like 6 months, I'm just going to send them a shirt. So if you're a member for 6 months, you get a MacBean Scottish Fitness shirt. And now that I can send it to England, and it doesn't cost an arm and a leg, I'll do that. So how that for a bribe? Is that a bribe? Yes, it is. Shh, quiet. Yeah, Vancy, do you have a live tonight? The only one I'm really aware of. I need to start writing this stuff down. But yeah, that'll be my membership drive. You become a member, and I don't even care if it's a cheap one. For 6 months, I will send you a T-shirt. So next week, yep. So Van City, we'll get on the email on that and figure out. And Miss Worm, I even upped the quality of that T-shirt. So the one I sent you was my first batch, which was a nice shirt, but 50% cotton. The shirts I have now are 90% cotton, much softer. Oh, thanks, Jam. Appreciate that. So everybody after 6 months will be getting the 90% cotton one. You'll just have to send me your shirt size, and where you want it sent. You did not get the old rubbish. That was the newest stuff I had. T-shirts in my body do not get along, never fit right. So what my wife does is she will buy a T-shirt. Oh, Vancy, thank you very much. She will buy a T-shirt and then have whatever it's put on her, because she said like a man's shirt, she can't fit in a man's T-shirt, so she gets a special T-shirt, and then she has the person put the things on it. So I could do that too. If you don't fit well in a man's shirt, and that, you could send me a shirt and I could have that put on for you. And one of the designs on my shirt, although the circular design is actually from a subscriber, it was Alex the Gamer who made those up and sent them to me. Man City Prepper, thank you. I appreciate that. And she let me use those designs and just asked I'd give her a shout out. So yeah, I absolutely do. When'd you get your books published? Well, let me know when you publish the books. My daughter published a book. She didn't even tell me. And I knew she was always good. I like a loose shirt and they always shrink. Yep. Depending on how you wash them. You gotta wash them in cold. And then you gotta hang dry them. The dryer will shrink that stuff. Oh, if you need an editor, oh, that's good, James. I can't write. I can't edit either. But my oldest daughter could write. I mean, she just had a talent for that. So she wrote a book. She hasn't let me read it yet, but I think next time I see her, I'm going to acquire it when I go to the thinking place. She is very clever. Oh, cool. Yeah, I love reading. My only problem is I read too fast. So I go through books really quick. We were at the Barnes & Noble a couple weeks ago, and I bought a nice, big, thick book, and I read it the same day. But it was a good one. Yeah, she probably won't. If you're talking about the book, she, I don't know why she would even think I would criticize that, because there's no way I can criticize writing. But she is very clever. So, it's been a really fun chat. She's clever and she's very talented. She's the one that does all that artwork that I would show on my breakfast chats. And then she buys old beat up furniture and she refurbishes it and makes it new, and that's how she did her whole house. Whoa, that wind is rocking the car now. James Share Things. Easier to find, just so you know. I'll have to look that one up, James. James _shares _things. I wonder if I can do a screenshot. Screenshot, maybe? Nope. Ah, there we go. There we go, James. Did a screenshot, so I got that. So I can look up your channel. Their bell rang later. Yep. And the gym's get your butt in here and work out. So I'm going to go, but I had a really good time. Thanks for joining, everybody, in Van City. I'm looking forward to being on your channel next week. The email will figure out what time and all that good stuff. And also thank you for the donation. And James, thanks for becoming a member. Appreciate that. And Miss Worm, always appreciate you keeping the bad people at bay with that stern look. Alrighty, I'm going to click out here, and I will talk to everybody later. Everybody have a safe and wonderful holiday. And I think I will probably do that live when I'm making the bread on Sunday. Alright, there we go, Van City. There we go. You got it for Miss James. All righty. Bye, everybody. Little Red Hen, thanks for jumping in. And remember, Beaverines.